Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we are getting ready to head out on the StartupBus. And we thought that today what we might want to do is just talk about, our last video was on the preparations, the pack in the bag, all the stuff that is going into the physical getting on the bus. Here I thought we'd talk about the psychological and mental preparation for what myself and probably a lot of other people are going through as we contemplate getting on a bus for 72 hours and heading down to Austin, Texas, creating a company along the way, meeting a bunch of new people, and what that all entails. So I guess for me, the exciting part is that I won't be driving this bus, as I'm usually the one driving. It's going to be kind of nice to be a passenger and to have all that time to sort of really focus and really think about creating a company and creating these relationships with people. And that's going to be a real benefit for me. The people also is something I'm totally looking forward to. We don't know a lot of these folks. We do know the ones from this part of the country, from Northeast Ohio. We've got folks from Akron, from North Canton, from Westlake, from Lakewood, from Cleveland. So there's a wide variety. There'll be folks from Pittsburgh, folks from Detroit on our bus, and then we'll pick up folks in Cincinnati and Columbus as well. So that part of it, I think, is going to be really exciting, you know. There's the logistics, the getting on and off, and the stops and the starts, and there'll be receptions for us along the way. So we'll be meeting a lot of business people. We're going to be stopping into a lot of incubators, so there's a lot of questions in my mind. Well, what's that going to be like? Who are we going to meet? What kind of connections are we going to make there? But that should be a lot of fun. There's the business itself. I've been thinking, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be hitting this bus with real smart ideas about what kind of business they want to start up, and maybe they haven't had a chance. Maybe they've been busy with other work. Maybe this is their chance to really put those ideas out there. I'm interested in seeing how the dynamic of the group goes and whose idea is going to rise to the top, what kind of collaboration is going to happen. You know, a lot of times with these entrepreneurs and startups and incubators, it's good for folks to get together because two different people might have similar ideas or very different ideas that you find it's better to put them together and create one business out of that than have you create two separate things. So it will be kind of interesting to see the dynamics of how that gets going. And also, we're all thinking, boy, we've got to pitch this at the end of 72 hours. What are the VCs going to be listening for? How do we put our presentation together so that it sounds like this is a fully formed idea? What kind of research are we going to be doing? So there's a lot of questions in my mind about how and how quickly we're going to be able to actually put the business part itself together. Speaking of business, I do have a business to run, Cool Cleveland. A lot of the other folks as well, I assume, have things going on. How are you going to manage that while you're on the bus and you're out of pocket, literally, for basically the entire week? It seems like just 72 hours, but we've spent a lot of time in prep beforehand and afterwards, getting there, getting back. So it's exciting, but there's also a lot of things that are being left behind in terms of your other obligations, and it'll be interesting to see how people handle that as well. And then layer on top of all that, my particular role as a journalist here, and deciding that we were going to do live broadcasts over the web at noon and 4 p.m. every day, and also with our partners Western Reserve PBS at 6:57 p.m. Monday through Thursday. There's a lot of prep. There's a lot of going on in terms of what I'm going to need to do to talk to people, to find out stories that are developing on the bus, to do interviews, to get to know everyone, and prepare these broadcasts, plus all the podcasting we're going to be doing, all the blogging, all the Facebook, the Twitter, the social media interaction, which we all talk about and is very important, but those of you who do it know that it takes more time than you think to do it right, to do it well. We spent hours and hours just putting material up on the web so that it's accessible to people, so that it makes sense. That stuff all takes time. So all of these different roles are kind of rolling around in my head wondering how are we going to do this. And of course, 72 hours can go by pretty quick, I think, and we'll be back to sort of our normal lives before we know it. But in the meantime, there's a lot for us to think about, a lot going on in my head, and I thought we'd share that with you today. So we'll see you again today at 4 p.m. On coolcleveland.com right here live on the web. And then starting tomorrow, Monday, we will be at noon and at 4 on coolcleveland.com, and then at 6:57 p.m. on Western Reserve PBS. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. Until then, it's Thomas Mulready from coolcleveland.com.